So my next question for you,
Okay.
do you try to plant everything at the same time, or like I've done it before with oats, specifically forage oats, where like I'll plant some and then I'll wait 2 or 3 weeks and plant another section next to it, and they kind of mature at a different time. Have you ever done that? Do you see value in it?
I don't, because again, that's time. That's time on the farm, and most guys just need to get it done get everything done while they have everything there and ready to go. And the only time I would do something like that, the cool thing about, I will mention this, the cool thing about a good quality forage oat, you can plant that much later in the growing season. Whatever your growing season is from the south to the north, oats is like, a good quality forage winter oat. I mean, they'll germinate and grow. I mean, I've seen them. We've planted them, had to do some replants in November and not get rain until late November, and they come out of the ground in December. So having oats as a backup is always a good thing, and you can plant them much later. But as far as planting food plots at different times, I usually don't. Now, the technique with that is, if you like brassicas, and deer do really well in brassicas, you want to plant brassicas typically earlier than anything else. So if you wanted just a brassica food plot, you want to plant that earlier, because they do take longer to establish. If you want tonnage, if you want big bulbs and big tops, you got to plant brassicas early. Kentucky, if you want some really big brassicas, you better get them in August. In Mississippi, we want to plant those earlier in September if you really want the big ones. So now you can still have a good brassica food plot, planting them later, that just the bulbs don't get as big and the tops don't get as big. That's with the turnips, radishes, whatever brassica that you're using. The earlier you can get them in the ground, the bigger and the more tonnage that they'll make.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: Kentucky, you know where we're at. For anyone that's listening, it's northern Kentucky. It's literally almost southern Ohio. You see on the back of a bag when you buy seed, it gives you a window based on your zone. If the zones are, one is very far north and it goes 2, 3, 4, I believe. We're, I think, the top of zone 2, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, let's say that says beginning of August or it says August to October. Would you say the end of August, early September, where we're at in Kentucky, is kind of that middle of the window, which is a good time if you're planting a mixture to kind of hit the right window for all the seeds in said blend?
Absolutely. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. So those seed zones are just, they're suggestions. There ain't nothing exact. There's nothing exact when it comes to food plot planting anyway. There's nothing exact when it comes to wildlife management in general. That just gives you some general times. Okay, this is the earliest you can do something. This is the latest you can do something on average. Does that not mean that you can plant something a little bit earlier? No. Does that not mean you can plant something a little bit later? No, because it all depends on weather, rain, and all those particular conditions. But they're just a good shooting point that you can make your plan with, like you mentioned.
Now, let me ask you this.
Okay.
We talked about rain, kind of waiting for rain. Let's talk about using a seed drill versus the other methods.
Okay, sure.
From the time you put seed into the ground to the time that first rain occurs, what's kind of your time frame there you're looking for? Like, when is it stretching it too much between seed in the ground and the first rain?
Sure. Well, it just depends on how hot and dry it gets. So, but most of the time, and it all depends on if it germinates or not. If that seed is in the ground and it doesn't germinate, understand this, that seed can sit there for a long time. It's fine. The seed's not going to rot. It's not going to go away. Some animal or something may eat it. But as long as it doesn't germinate, man, it can sit there for a couple months, for that matter. I mean, it can sit there for a long time. The only risk that you run is the idea of that seed germinating, and there's enough moisture there to allow it to germinate. Then if it gets hot and dry for a month and you don't get any rain and get some crazy hot temperatures, then it could terminate that seed. That's the only risk that you run. But typically, again, during the fall season, say in Kentucky, if you are planting in early September and there's good moisture there already, that seed starts to germinate, you should be fine because the nights are going to start getting cooler. You're going to get some dews at night to at least to allow those plants to survive until you get a good rain event. So, but let's just say a typical situation, you know, I would like to at least see a rain event or have a rain event coming and get it in the ground about a week before that or a few days before that. So, but again, with the drilled, I mean, it's really easy. All you got to do is plant. All you got to do is run that drill in there. So even if you have a drill, then you can run out and do it. But the only downfall, if you're renting it, then hey, you have that time frame to use that drill, because if you wait to a rain event and then go try to drill it, everybody and their mama is already in line to be able to get it. But the idea is don't plant it too early. Like for you, you don't want to go plant early August, you know, then you're taking a risk. So if you're first week in September, I think you'll be fine. You won't have any problem with that.
Yeah, and that was my next question, was the dew. Is that a myth, or does the dew actually help hold it over?
It actually does. It actually does. And then the temperatures at night help as well, because that produces more dew. It just cuts. You have some longer nights, and you have daylight. You have. Let me back up. So not only is that important, is the day length is important. So like right now, we still have long days. So there's more days that it's exposed to the hot, dry sun. As the winter progresses, you have shorter days and longer nights, so it's less exposed in that heat and that hot environment that'll dry it out. So I hope maybe that makes sense as well.